Well, I'm Andrea Radek.
And I'm Kristen Plesko.
So today we're going to talk about pricing. Somebody pitched this question to us in a really nice way, how low to go and how high to hope for. How low would you go? Would you go down low? All the way to the floor?
God, I hate that song.
One hop, two times? Crisscross. Yeah.
Charlie Brown. Only 90s kids will get that joke.
It wasn't even that 90s.
No, it wasn't. It was 2000s. But...
Yeah. I would say it's always really frustrating when you first start out because, it's enticing to grab any commissioners you can. It also is going to depend on the different markets that you're advertising to. So let's say you're on DeviantArt, like most young artists are. Don't laugh.
Sorry. Sorry, everyone starts out on DeviantArt.
Everybody does.
It's okay. I'm just laughing because...
You'll learn.
Because also Gaia Online.
Or Gaia Online. Let's say you start out on your Neopets forum. Essentially, the more of an audience that you expose your stuff to, the more people that you're able to, I don't want to say entice, but the more people that you have following your work, you tend to be able to start out at like a better rate. It's sort of a shitty question because, it's not like we haven't done commissions for $5 before.
Oh yeah, we all have.
Yeah.
I've done full illustrations for like $40 and it took probably like 50 hours of work.
The starting out, I think one of my lowest was like, I used to do them for $15 for a full picture.
Yeah.
What would you say is the lowest?
As an adult who could get an adult job and you're like not 14, adult and above, I'd say no lower than minimum wage. There's no reason to go lower than that. And you might not get any picks that way, but literally you could do any of your own work, or you could do requests that you actually really enjoy. I would say never go below minimum wage, and that's even like lowballing the hell out of it.
Well, that would be the ideal world. I would say a good sort of starting area for most artists, that it's not completely, fucking them over. It's not like, $5 or 40 DeviantArt points or whatever the fuck you want. It's not like that, but I would say for like a full picture, maybe like your lowest would be like 50 or 60.
Yeah,
and even that is
really low.
That's not a price that you enjoy being at. And it tends to be when you shoot lower than that, everybody sort of comes out of the woodwork. And not in the good way. Notice a lot of people get stuck at about like $35 for a commission. Those people have loads and loads of horror stories about just the really shitty commissioners they get. Yeah, but okay, yeah, below that,
are in like the 10 to 35 range.
They are, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, like you can do things for $35. Like I'll do a sketch for $35, but I won't do a full image.
Yeah.
No,
the type of commissioners you get below that are just like, okay, I was doing stuff at 15.
Yeah.
And I had this one guy that he wanted to print it up on a book or something, and of course it was some book that he wrote, and he was putting on Lulu, more or less a book for you and your friends type of thing. This guy, it was like a raptor, and it was in like these salt marshes, and I did this big elaborate sketch and stuff, and I showed it to him, and we somehow got on the topic that he was not going to own the rights for it, because it was a $15 fucking sketch of a dinosaur. Like, I'm not, even as a young child, or not a young child, even as somebody who was probably 20,
an adult, a literal adult.
Yeah, literally an adult. He got really, really angry, and he posted like an angry journal. This son of a bitch won't let me have full rights for $15. And most people are like, hey, that's an outrage. But then a majority of people are like, of course you're not going to get rights for $15.
Yeah.
Or nobody replied to his journal because nobody likes answering stupid drama like that. It was just a dude that was over entitled because he thinks that art, drawing is fun and thus shouldn't be paid for. And we've all had those people come onto our page and like, I think my favorite one is just like, oh, you're just drawing this because you want the money, and it's not a real illustration if it's just about the money. And I'm like, I would really love to give well wishes and hugs to my credit card company, people I owe money to, but I can't. Because it's the real fucking world, and everybody needs money to make things, to make a living.
It's always my favorite. In fact, and then when you charge more money, and you charge, a normal, rates and stuff, you never hear from those people ever
Oh,
again.
yeah. That's the
fantastic
fantastic
best
thing. When you get to that $50, $60 mark, you actually start getting decent commissions.
Yeah.
And you start getting decent
like,
people.
the people are, like, genuinely awesome.
Yeah.
And, like, I've had less issues with higher paying commissioners than I have with the cheaper ones, like in Gaia Online days.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because, like, I had one person that changed her damn avatar or whatever, like, a week after I got the commission. So I finished it, and I gave it to her, and it was in ink and stuff, and it took, like, forever. You know, it was, like, an entire day of school, and I had to do softball and shit. So, you know, so it was precious time to me. For $1,200 Gaia Online points or something. 12,000. I think it was 12,000.
How many real points or how many real dollars is that?
Well, due to the inflationary period of, like, 2014, where they just pumped Gaia Online money into the economy.
2014?
Yeah, this was in, like, 2005.
Okay.
So the inflation rate, basically, that's worth nothing. $5 to $10, maybe. And not even that, probably. But the problem was, like, she changed her character, and she's like, I'm sorry, my character is completely changed. You need to redo this. And it's like, you literally gave me a screenshot of your character, and I did it within a week, which I thought was fine. And then she went and she's like, excuse me, I work really hard in the mill making money to buy Gaia points, and I don't have time for this. I'm like, you fucking piece of shit.
I have to mill my Gaia points from the stones themselves. And
just the way she said it was so trashy. I was like, are you kidding? Yeah. You pay for Gaia Online points and you work at a mill to pay your Gaia Online? That's weird. It's just a weird thing to say.
I've had people that are like, you know, if you lowered your prices, then I would be able to give you a commission. And I'm like, well,
no.
I'm doing fine, so that's never going to happen.
It's not about the money, but it's also about the money.
It's about time and effort.
Yeah.
And, you know, you can sit around with poking a dead horse and stuff with your time, but for the most part, you want to do something worthwhile with your time.
Yeah.
You know,
otherwise, I'm just going to garden or something.
Yeah.
Like, I pay money to garden, but I enjoy it.
I mean, I can enjoy painting, but I can also, understand
my own stuff.
How the world works, which is not just, free love and art for everyone.
Oh, boy.
No, yeah,
I'd love to be able to do free art for people, but I don't have the time for that, and I'm going to die in, like, 60 years, so I need to, get on. I need to do my own shit. I don't have time to do anyone else's stuff unless to make it worth my while. Yeah. Which is terrible sounding, but it's like, I'm gonna die. I could die tomorrow. And then, and free hugs don't get me shit, but money does. So,
well, if you died tomorrow, money's still not gonna get you anything.
No, it'd pay for your funeral or something. I don't know.
Well, my funeral.
It'll pay for the cardboard box and the,
for the hole to rent the backhoe to shove you into. Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, I mean, it would be nice if the world worked in a way where no, it wouldn't. It would be chaos. But it would be nice if you didn't have to go through that type of business route every time you do a transaction and every time that you do something with business. But it's a business. And it has to be treated like a business.
If you just had like a farm or something, you're like, I have a whole pallet of random vegetables and I'd like a commission. That would be something that we could actually barter for. Because it's actually something you use.
Maybe for you.
Or I don't know. Like, if it's like, I have a palette, like, I have clothes, I'm a seamstress, and I have this, I can tailor these clothes to you.
And I've bartered for things before in the past, and used artwork.
But not for...
You got your iPad that way, your first iPad.
I did. See, things like that. Like, and I thought it was a great deal, and it totally was. It was like, I'll pay for this with partially an iPad. And it's like, yeah. Like, that's a great thing to barter for. And don't be ashamed to, like, barter for things, because it's really, like, art books. I barter for art books. Like, magic cards I wouldn't mind bartering for. Just because, like, I happen to play those things, and I don't want to pay money for it. But I
would barter for skulls.
Yeah, see? Skulls. Plants. Well, not... Well, for me, maybe.
If that's you again.
Clay?
So, how low to go is... I think minimum wage is an optimistic rate. I would say definitely shoot for at least, like, $50.
Yeah.
Your time is, I mean, even if you think that you're just starting out and everything, it's more worth your time to have, like, some sort of actual job on the side. Not like art's not a job, but, I mean, have a job on the side so that you're not just dependent on your commission money.
Yeah.
Because you will run yourself absolutely ragged.
Well,
and
also,
more people have just flat out faded away by just like, I've done $1 million $5 commissions, and now I hate everybody. Everybody was a colossal asshole. I did a $5 icon commission, and it has 9 million horns, and it has to have this specific amount of jewelry in its ear, and each one has to be a certain color and a certain position because it fucking means something.
What was that one furry game that you do portraits for? Furcadia. There we go. I did stuff on that forum too.
Oh, did you? I've never done that.
Oh God, it was miserable.
Yeah.
I never want to do it again, and I won't.
And you don't have to.
The other thing is also, if you're unfortunate enough to be born an American, remember that there is no healthcare with art. Like so with minimum wage and stuff. At least at the very least, if you work full-time minimum wage at another job, they will subsidize your healthcare. But otherwise, you're going to have to put more money into, getting those things. Since now it's a law, you have to have healthcare. That's the one bad thing about freelancing, at least in this country, is that you have to really, really be careful about that.
Yeah, there are programs and stuff you
people
can go into.
Yeah, because you could literally be part-time at, like, Starbucks, and they give you healthcare.
Yeah.
And that's probably, and they pay you better than minimum wage, I think, in most cases.
That's honestly what I would say what most professional illustrators and stuff do, is they always have some sort of job on the side.
And there's
very, very few of them. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head that they don't have some sort of main job.
But that's something to consider, too, is that if you're, like, I need to pay bills, minimum wage might actually be better.
It's definitely much more worth your time to just have a lot of your other worries set aside and then spend all your free time doing Illustrator shit.
Yeah, and another thing to consider, you can do things like prints and buttons and passive income, like selling.
That's what I've done.
Yeah, and that's a really good way of doing it. Like have a passive income set up, like an Etsy shop or something. So although you can work another job and still sell those and be creative while still making money. And that's just a really good...
Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of things to set up for that, but we're getting off topic.
Oh, yeah, well, that's another thing,
I just don't want to go through all of our material before we don't have anything to talk about.
Oh, was that another thing?
Yeah.
Ah, damn it! All right. Dang it. All right, sorry, I was trying to think of other things other than just commissions.
But yeah, basically $50 or $60.
Yeah, basically, don't do less than that. Otherwise, you might as well just do anything else.
There's definitely like a mental shift between 35 and 50 that people are just like, oh, I've got to stop treating these people like shit. And then below that, it's a free for all. It's ridiculous. And I know more people that have gotten scared off from ever doing commissions again from taking commissions that low, because I figure everybody's like that. Yeah. I mean, the truth of it is that art is an unnecessary thing. Like you can sort of fight for that. It's like an emotional thing to liven up your day, but literally you can't clothe yourself with artwork and you can't eat artwork. So it's not. Technically you're going to be, I don't want to say going after, but you tend to be looking at people's excess money.
Yeah.
And people that are going to save up to buy art are the people that have that money set aside, and they're not just going to be like splurge buying like most people at $35 and under.
Yeah.
Are just like, yeah, I've got $2 around. I don't really give 2.5 shits about artwork. I just want a new icon. Like there's definitely a mental shift. That's where that mental shift comes by. You want to look more into the people that have that excess money because they like supporting that type of thing.
They also tend to have, I guess,
good
better
jobs.
Taste. Yeah, well, also
Great
because they have more disposable income, they tend to be more discerning about it, and I've found that they usually have like more fun ideas to illustrate and stuff.
Yeah,
in general, like they
tend to be way better.
Yeah.
Just shoot for that. Do other work, do your own work, do part-time work until you are at that type of level, and then build up from there. So, how high are we willing to hope for?
The sky.
The sky.
Like for
essentially, if you are an extremely established artist and you have a very packed commission queue, like what is the highest commission number that you've heard of? Like I want to say it's
pretty
like
high.
10,000. And that was somebody who was like an extremely fantastic illustrator, and they only wanted to take like 2 pieces per year.
And that's not even counting things like oil paintings or like the artists.
Yeah, it was like an oil painting type of thing. It was like 10,000, I think.
Yeah, because like someone like some of the fine artists at like a LuxCon, I think it would be like 20 to 30,000 for like an oil painting. They're very beautiful. And if I had the money, like, my God, think of how awesome those commissioners are. Because they probably just, because they're paying you for your skill and your experience. They're not, it's...
That's a bracket I don't really have a lot of experience in.
So digital art, I've seen, like, I guess the average high commission would be, like, maybe around, like, $800 to $1,000 upwards to, like, $1,500.
Yeah, I would say digital-wise, that's probably the highest I've seen as well. Yeah. Most people on the higher range tend to be, like, $500 to $800.
Yeah.
I would say for, like, a nice big picture.
Yeah, and that's usually about, like, probably, like, 30 to 50 an hour. Yeah, if you spend 500 hours on something that costs you $500, or you're getting maybe you're doing it wrong. But, you know.
I would say that's a good area to hope for. And that's a lot of audience-based building. That's, you know, applying your artwork to a number of well-known games and really building up like an audience. Like a big audience. You have to be in demand. Having a good online base that follows you and everything, that will help bring some commissions up because it becomes more supply and demand.
Yeah.
At that point. And then I think you get to a point where you just have a shitload of people constantly asking you, and you're like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm only going for $10,000. And that, instead of like attracting, if you're at like 500, let's say you'll attract like 10 people or something. If you're at like 10,000, you're going to attract one person.
Yeah.
And I have to assume that those artists tend to just be going after
a specific client base.
Far apart client base type of thing.
Yeah, they tend to be much more serious about what they want. They're usually also more keen to listen to you and your feedback about something.
And Kristen and I are not the type of people that charge $10,000 for a commission, so we don't really know. We don't really know exactly what's going through those people's minds.
Yeah, a lot of times though, I've seen like $3,000 or $4,000 for like a really nice painting, like an acrylic or oil painting. And something, but there's like a really weird thing with oil painting is like it's very hard to see something. So you'll see some stuff for like $300, but then like the next tier up is like $5,000. Like there's not a lot of in between I've seen.
Yeah,
like, which is really weird if you think. So either someone's like kind of okay or they're really good.
Well, like the guy that's at the pop-up market, he sells his stuff for like his big paintings. What it was like $1,500 or $2,500.
So that's probably a good thing to look at.
You're going to sort of scale up. Like I said, it just becomes supply and demand. You're just going to scale up and limiting your user base. But then if you're putting out less artwork, but it's higher quality artwork, then it'll attract more people at that sort of higher quality rate that will come by. And then you'll gain more of an audience. So,
and people will want to commission you even if they can't. Like, there's plenty of artists I'd love to commission, but like I'm not the kind of person who buys artwork and can afford to
that's a different story. If you are an illustrator, you don't really want to buy anybody else's artwork. You might buy, like,
occasionally.
I tend to buy cheap commissions.
Yeah.
But I'm not a dick about it. I'm just like, hey, you got an interesting stuff. Here, I'll give you an extra tip. And so we abuse the system a little bit.
Just a little bit. I think that it tends to be with artists, they, from what I can see from a LuxCon, they tend to trade a lot with each other. They don't pay money, they basically pay with time. So I don't know, there you go. If you're an artist and you want to trade with other artists, of course it's always up to the other artist. That is at least something you can do instead of paying $10,000 for a commission.
Yeah, I would never do that. I don't care how beautiful something is. I will learn to be that good, and then I will paint it, and then it won't cost me $10,000. It'll just cost me 10,000 hours.
If I was like a senator or something, and I was like, I am too busy working 40 days a year to paint. Oh, I would definitely spend like $20,000 on a really nice painting.
Well,
you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're blowing money out your ass all the time, then you can buy whatever you want. But I would say, for the most part, you tend to get much more caring commissioners the higher you go. We're never going to be able to tell you how much to charge for your artwork. We get asked that all the goddamn time. And basically, whatever you can bring commissions in at, but not that you're overly swamped with commissions. That's what you should be charging at, but just start at like 50.
It's like a sliding scale. When you feel like you're getting too many commissions, just raise your prices.
Yeah.
That's it. And if you feel like you're getting too many, keep raising them until you have a comfortable amount. Mm-hmm. And it's always, you can always raise it with time.
Would you rather do 50 commissions for $10, or would you rather do 5 commissions at...
Was it $500 commissions or... Hold on, wait. 5 $50 commissions?
Yeah.
There we go. I can't count.
10 $50 No.
10...
Be $20, $50.
As you can tell, we're not mathematicians.
Yeah.
You want to do less time to just...
Okay, do you want to do... Let's try again. Do you want to do 50 $10 commissions? Yeah. Okay. Or do you want to do one $500 commission?
There we go. It might... Yes, that is correct. Okay. I was going to say 50 $1 commissions or one $50 commission. That's also a thing, but that's unrealistic.
Yeah. Okay. No, the numbers are right. It just if you have to do, obviously you're gonna want to do one $500 commission. Who doesn't want to fucking do one $100 or $500 commission? Yeah, less is more. The less time that you can spend getting paid the same amount of work is worth it for you in the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
you could do $5 commissions till you die, or you can do, like.
If you had to do
50,
3 jumping jacks
100.
for one piece of bread, and you can get away with getting one piece of bread for one jumping jack, you're going to do one jumping jack for that piece of bread.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. That's
weird. Who gets paid bread to do jumping jacks?
I don't know. I was thinking of, like, in 1984, how they forced people to do exercise, and they had to wait in bread lines and stuff.
Okay, so...
I don't know.
Yeah, I've been Andrew Radek. If you guys have any questions, we're FridgeArtPodcast@gmail.com. Yeah.
Send us questions.
We read stuff through there.
5 jumping jacks for one email.
If you can tell us how wrong our math was and just cram our inbox full of it, it's on a different Gmail account and I don't care. So there you go.
You're going to judge us for how well or how poorly we did in math.
I used to be good at math. That was in the before times.
At least you were good at it.
Those dreams died with art history classes, and yeah, no more math.
Good.
Yeah, I've been Andrew Radek.
And I'm Kristen Plesko.
And I'm trying to find Audacity. Alright, good night.